For math this morning, we are going to be working on dividing numbers by 10, 100, or 1000 using patterns. You are going to see that this is going to be really, really similar to the work we did when we're multiplying numbers by 10, 100, and 1000, just slightly different because obviously we're shifting into division. For a quick review before we start, and take a look at just our vocabulary. So just a reminder, if you need to, pause right now and jot down your vocab for division. So our dividend is the number that we're starting with that we are going to eventually split into groups. Your divisor is the number of groups that you are splitting your dividend up into. And your quotient is your answer to the division problem. This could also look like this, which sometimes can get confusing, and just remembering which term is which number. So inside our division house is your dividend. That is still the number that you are breaking up. Your divisor is right here, and that's how many groups you are splitting up your dividend into. And then your quotient is your answer that sits right on the top of your division house. So just like we did when we multiplied by 10, 100, and 1000, we are going to look for patterns when we're dividing by 10, 100, and 1000. So in this chart here, you'll see that we start with a number and then we divide it by 10. Each time we're dividing it by 10, all of those number chips shift one place to the right. So that's basically what's happening when we're dividing by 10. Now, if we take a look at just the numbers, I have 70. If I divide that by 10, what you should notice is that you are basically losing that 0 at the end of the number. So I go from 70 divided by 10, I get 7. 160 divided by 10, I get 16. 1,800 divided by 10, I drop off just 1 0 and get 180. Now, very similarly, if I was to divide a number by 100 or 1,000, I'm seeing a similar shift, but when I'm shifting by 100, so here I have 900, I'm dividing it by 100, those chips are jumping 2 places to the right. And then if I look at the actual numbers, 900 divided by 100, I get an answer of 9. So now instead of losing 1 0, when I divide by 100, I am dropping 2 zeros from my dividend. If I jump down and look at dividing by 1000, so I have 9,000 divided by 1000. Those chips are jumping 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. And if I look over at our digits, 9,000 divided by 1000, I am losing 1, 2, 3 zeros in my quotient. So I want you to pause on this page right here and record in your notes your answers to the starred problems. So right in here, I have 3,600. So we have 3,600 and I'm dividing it by 100. Your answer would go right in this row. Numbers 2 and 3, so I have 8,000. You want to think, what would your answer be if you divide 8,000 by 1,000? And then the last one, 54,000 divided by 1,000. You're going to pause the video now and record those 3 answers. All right, so our answers should be 36, 8, and 54. So your basic rule of thumb is look at your divisor, whether it's 10, 100, 1,000, however many zeros are in your divisor, that's how many zeros you are going to take off from your dividend. All right, so our next step, we are going to break apart a number to help divide by tens. Again, really similar to what we did when we were working with multiplication. So if I have the problem 60 divided by 30, what I can do is I can break up our divisor into 10 and 3. Okay, so I'm just breaking that up into the 2 factors that allow me to use 10. Now, when I'm dividing 60 by 10, just like we just did, I know that when I'm dividing a number by 10, I can just bump that 0 off of my dividend. So 60 divided by 10, I get 6. And then I bring down this 3 that I still need to divide by. 6 divided by 3, and I would get a final answer of 2. So all I did was I just broke up my divisor to make it a little bit easier for me to divide. All right, so I want you to try this problem in your notes. 420 divided by 70, just like we did before, I want you to break up your divisor. So pause the video now, try that out, and then check back in to see how you did. Okay, so if I'm going to break up my divisor, I'm going to break up 70 into 10 and 7. I'm going to bring down my dividends. Now, when I'm dividing 420 divided by 10, all I have to do is bump that 0 off of my dividend, so I get 42. I'm going to bring down my 7. 42 divided by 7, I get a final answer of 6. All right, so the last concept that we're going to look at today is a little bit of a review. We did do this in chapter 1, but estimating quotients. So the very first step that we need to do when we're estimating a quotient is underlining the first 2 digits in your dividend. So I'm going to underline 1 and 7 here. The next step, you are going to round your divisor. So I'm going to change 38. I'm going to round it to the nearest 10, round that up to 40. Okay, once I have rounded my divisor, I'm going to list out the multiples of the digit in my divisor, which is 4. So I'm going to list those out here. All right, so I've listed out my multiples of 4. And again, I'm going to think of which one of those multiples is closest to the underlying digits in the dividend. 16 is my closest. So now I'm going to take that 1 and 7 and replace it with my 16 to get 1,600 divided by 40. Now what I can do is I can break up 40 to make the division a little bit easier. So I'm going to break up 40 into 10 and 4. So when I'm dividing 1,600 by 10, I am going to bump off that 0. Okay, now I'm going to think 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then I have 1 0 remaining. So I should have a final answer of 40. So here are those steps that you need to go through when you are estimating a quotient. If you need to, you can pause this and keep it up while you are doing your workbook pages. So right now you are through with your lesson. I'm going to have you refer back to your math schedule for today to make sure you know what workbook pages you need to complete for your independent work time. Also make sure that you are checking in for your math station.